Okay, boys and girls, this is a quick update. Okay, which way am I looking? Where's my camera? Okay, it's over here. Quick update. So today is Thursday, and I'm finally getting ready to hit the road. Just as I started to record the video, now there's wind. But anyway, the truck is at the KENWORTH, and yesterday I made a boo-boo. And no, by the way, behind me it's not a prison, it's a local Walmart. Cool place to work. So I dropped off the KENWORTH yesterday for the transmission, that shifter repair and alignment, and I wanted to install a fender mirror. And then I called an Uber because that's like 20 kilometers, I don't know, 50 miles away from me. And we started driving back to my home area, and somewhere in the middle of the trip I realized that I left my Mustang key inside the KENWORTH. And so half of the day yesterday and half of the day today I'm just walking around, like a pedestrian, for crying out loud. But anyway, and KENWORTH, I asked him for an update yesterday. They said, yeah, the alignment was done, which I'm very skeptical about when they do it that fast. They use some outside, they outsourced it to a third-party company. Before I pay for that, I want to take the truck for a test drive, because quite often that's like the easiest money a shop can make is doing alignment. And if nothing changed, I'm not going to pay for it. If the truck is still pulling to one side, because they say they did it, I didn't see it, right? So anyway, they did the alignment, and then they're replacing turns out something was wrong with the splitter on my 18-speed tranny. They could not, of course, duplicate the problem when the truck would refuse to start in reverse. When the shifter is in reverse, and you release the clutch, nothing happens. Just as I thought, they said they could not duplicate the problem, but they're replacing the splitter in this 18-speed tranny. And when I asked them to install the fender mirror, they said they had two options. One was 175 Canadian, and the other mirror was over 500, like that nice factory, one in the plastic, in a black plastic, frame. And I said, give me the cheaper one, but I said, make sure you don't block, it can be seen. Because I have that tablet, right, which I use as ELD, sitting right there. I don't want to move it. And then the guy calls me back and he says they cannot install the mirror with that position of the tablet. They said it can, the mirror can go only in one place on the fender. They cannot put it higher, and so the tablet blocks it. So I said, then forget it. So no mirror. I'm working on my insurance renewal, which is coming in September, and I hope, because now we're using real life IFTA or mileage numbers, I hope my monthly rate will go down and become, from the crazy amount I've been paying, and become more reasonable. And they just notified me that from now on all trucks going into US from Canada must be equipped with a Dashcam. And I did some research, and my local Staples carries this tiny little Dashcam. It's called the RCS. What I like about it is very small. So that's the whole cam, right? So I like them when they're this small, because then they don't you know, vibrate too bad, because when they're heavy, I had some heavier ones before, and it's very difficult to make them you know, stationary, because they keep vibrating. The lighter it is, the better it is for the quality. And this one, I'm gonna do a review about this later on, but so that's my shopping I did today, right? And this one records in 1080p, has a Sony sensor, and has a super wide 160-degree eye of view, and the lens is 1.8. It's a pretty good lens, and it has a Wi-Fi connectivity, so you can kind of like a GoPro, you can operate it from your smartphone, you know. I don't know, it looks cool, you know. And it records audio, because some of the cheaper ones, they don't record audio. And just for the heck of it, I got an extra warranty, a replacement for 12 bucks Canadian. So this doesn't come with SD card, but it supports up to 64 gigabytes. So that's what I got, micro SD card. So Dashcam, micro SD card, and extra year warranty, full replacement within 2 years. Cost me 145 bucks Canadian plus $18 HST, which I'm gonna get back. So 145 Canadian, roughly 110 US. And now my insurance company wants me to take a picture of the Dashcam when it's installed and send them a copy of the receipt. And also Staples gave me this coupon for $10 off if I buy something worth 50 bucks or more. So pretty cool. So now I'm just basically waiting. I'm just gonna go and have a breakfast inside this fence, still on the Canadian side, but inside the Walmart land. And then just gonna grab an Uber and go to Kenworth, because they said it's the truck is almost done. And I started looking for loads. I started yesterday, but then they told me that the truck would not be ready Wednesday, right, or Thursday. See, now it's already almost 11 o'clock here, and so now I'm looking for loads for tomorrow. Talked to one guy. He says, what's your MC number? I give him my MC number, and he says, is there a 0 in the front? And these guys are bugging the heck out of me. They always ask me for the 0. I said, no, there's no 0. I'm looking straight at my MC certificate. I said, the first number is this. And up to that point, I had been talking with this guy for like half an hour, right? I said, okay, send me the info. Oh, I gotta confirm it first. It's my brother. Maybe we used our own trucks because we're also a carrier. Like, what? Why you post it? You know, why did you post this stuff? Well, 1 hour ago it was still available, but I don't know. My brother was also looking to put it on our own trucks. And what's cool about that load, it was coming from Ontario going to Eastern Canada, but then out of there they had a reload going to US, you know, so I could have done 2 loads. But as soon as I gave him my MC number, this guy says, oh, I'm sorry, if it's a 0 in the front, it means that your MC is less than 2 years old. We cannot work with you. I hate when they do that, so I just hang up, you know. I didn't say anything. I was so upset, I hang up. Now another guy texted me, oh, we got this super light load from US, like a short deadhead into US and then comes back to Canada. It pays a bunch of money, you know, pays much better than that load where the guy was choosy about my MC number. So it's a bit too wide, like the 14 feet wide, but it's like 16,000 pounds. I might do it, I don't know. But of course, I'll need escorts, you know. But might be a good chance to test the new Dashcam. Now, Ford Mustang update. People that are not interested in V6 power, just skip on. But I spent a few days trying to see if I can upgrade my car to F-150 or Mustang GT, and they were giving me a very low ball offers on trade-in. There's no way I can sell the 1-year-old car for that lower price, you know. And what these guys are doing nowadays, they all have auction system. All the dealers are plugged in into one wholesale, of course, wholesale auction system, and so they put in details about my car in the pictures, and then somebody makes a bid, right? And they pick up, they say they pick up like 3 bids, and then they present them to me, and it's just ridiculous, you know. Like, of course it's wholesale, right? And I said, I'm always kind of like, why are you guys giving me wholesale value, right? You charging me a retail price for the new vehicle, so basically why you have to make so much money on the trade-in and on the new car, you know? Like, if you want to sell the new car, just give me some deal on the trade-in, right? These guys won't budge, and so I'm keeping the car. And so now we're gonna continue with upgrades and mods, and we're gonna go crazy. And I was thinking about just changing the throttle body, adding a cold air intake, and changing the shifter, because the stock shifter is a bit loose. I really don't like it, you know. I want something like a short throw shifter, something, you know, that gives you short, crisp shifts, something like this. And now also I talked yesterday, exchanged emails with one guy, and I talked today with a shop that does one shop does turbo installs. Like, you can install that small V6 turbo from the F-150, you know, this 2.7 V6, right? It's EcoBoost. And so there's a company in US that can convert that system for the 3.7 V6, right? And you get about 50% more horsepower at the wheels, you know, more torque. It's like a very curious setup. I watched a couple of videos online. The guys was very heavy. It's like super tiny turbos that are installed. You cannot even see them. Like, there's minimum modifications. It's all pretty much like bolt on, you know. But then there's another big company, so that's a turbo, right? A turbo is, I think, it doesn't give you as much power, but I think it's more fuel efficient. But then there's a supercharger, right? And there's a famous company called Pro Charger, and they have a kit for my Mustang, which is much more money. But these guys have dealers everywhere, and I talked to this one dealer in Buffalo, New York, and they confirming details. And so, you know, for the money that these guys want for the GT or F-150 with the super low trade-in they're giving me, like, I just want a bit more power, you know. Like, I like my car, but for the money, it's much better to do some kind of mod yourself and keep this car. And I have this playlist, right? V6 Mustang, so I'm going to be adding little by little this mod videos in there. So if you guys are interested in a homemade supercar, check it out. Did my July books, you know, profits, expenses, didn't do too bad. I think my gross was like 32 grand Canadian, but I spent about 2,000, all funds Canadian, 2,000 on permits and tolls, and about 6 grand on fuel. And I think I spent about 2,000 on repairs and mods on the truck and trailer, which is crazy. And my insurance is still high, like I mentioned, but I hope it's going to come down, because the truck is now, it's increased because of the new KENWORTH. They just slapped a huge surcharge on my premium when I changed from the Mac to KENWORTH. But now the truck will be 6 months old, and now I have my real IFTA numbers, like I mentioned, so it might help with the monthly rate. Now I decided to get annual Quebec permit. So now I have Ontario permit, which is good up to 12 feet wide and about 14 feet tall, up to a gross weight of 63,500 kgs, which is about 132,000 pounds, I think. And now I'm gonna go, next couple of weeks, I'm gonna go for the enhanced Ontario permit, which costs more, but it's more economical in the long run. If you do heavy loads, this one will allow me to be my gross to be up to 71,000 kgs, right? And I think it also allows me to be longer in case I need to rent a Stinger or a Jeep or whatever. And the old one is still active, but it expires in, I just got an email from them that I think I have a month. I think it expires in October. And I called them and I said, how do I change it to this enhanced version with more weight? And they said, oh, it's a totally new application. Just do the new application, write down your visa number, and write down the date when you want it to be effective. And so I can put the date, you know, when my old one expires, for example, right? And then this old one just expires, and that's it. And then I start using this new enhanced one so I can move heavier loads. And speaking about heavier loads, I don't like going into Quebec, but the reality is that it's my neighbor to the east. And, you know, even though I often come back empty, but sometimes you can make good money coming from US, right? And so I ordered an annual permit or blanket permit for Quebec. And it's more expensive than on the Ontario one, but pretty much the same price as the new one that I'm thinking about, this enhanced. I think the guy said that with his fees it was like 800 bucks Canadian, but he said you can be up to 14 feet wide. It's like something crazy. So then you really don't need to buy trip permits most of the time. You just use this annual permit and you can save a bunch of money. But most important thing about these, most important benefit about these annual or blanket permits, as they're called in the States, is that you save a lot of time, right? Because single trip permits can take, you know, anywhere from 1 to 3 days. If you have an annual permit, that's it, you know, you're good to go as soon as you get loaded. And I wanted to get it in New York as well, but my permit service company told me that annual permit in New York only covers you up to 117,000 pounds gross. And I don't know why is it so low if I'm registered for like up to 150,000 pounds gross. So I'm gonna look into that myself. I don't trust these guys about this. I'm gonna call New York DOT and find out, because New York has been causing lots of delays in my operation recently. Like when I come from Baltimore, you know, like PA is fine, pretty quick, Maryland is quick, but New York, something is wrong with the water they're drinking or something, I don't know, but it takes like 3 days, you know, for a simple trip permit. So if I can get an annual for New York, that would simplify my life, you know, and I can make more money because I'll be able to move quicker. And so those are the news, those are the updates. So yeah, gonna go pick up the truck and start looking in earnest for the load. And I might go empty to Delaware to pick up this that light load I mentioned, 14 feet wide, and bring back to Canada. So thanks for watching, stay tuned. A review of my new shiny Dashcam is coming soon. Captain Sergei out.